Hello everyone. The only thing about this, now I'm going to jump straight into it, but I just have to say this has been a while since I've done anything live on Facebook, period. And I was originally going to do them on Instagram Live, but I decided that I will save the behind the scenes footage for Instagram Live, and I'm just going to do Facebook Live on my page now. So it's something that's totally different. And the system that I'm actually using, I can't see your comments yet, so I do have my other iPhone with me, so I can kind of like look at the comments as well. So if you see me looking over here and then back to you, it's just because I'm trying to look at the comments as well. But child, we don't even know if all of this is gonna work, so we're just gonna record and then come back later. Okay, we'll come back later and try to fix it up and everything. All right, so hello and welcome to the new communication series that I'm going to be doing. My name is Dr. Charity C. Campbell, and I am a university lecturer in the city of Dalian, China. I am temporarily displaced from my home in China due to the pandemic, and I am here in the United States. And I will be actually talking about that a little bit. I'll be talking about that a little bit in today's segment. But so I teach in two departments, actually. I teach in the English for Academic Purposes department. I also teach in the Business Management department. So the courses that I teach overall are Language for Business Management, Language for Accounting and Finance, English for Management, Business Ethics, and Corporate Social Responsibility. Yes, I do a lot, okay? I do a lot, but communication has been my foundation since undergrad. And from there, and the reason why communication became a thing for me is because I always felt like I was good at communicating. So let me just pop in and say hi to Sherelle. I see you. Sherelle said, hey girl, hey. Hey girl. Sherelle actually went to undergrad with me. We were at UNCG together. So that's pretty awesome that you're in. Also, so just continuing on a little bit about me, my foundation is in communication studies. As I continue to go on in school, I graduated from UNCG, then I went on to Full Sail, where I focused more on new media communications and new media journalism. So, because why not? I mean, we're in this, I am a part of the digital native generation. And so I wanted to learn a lot more about new media and how it impacts me, how it impacts, businesses and things like that. And then I moved forward and ended up getting my doctorate in global leadership, dealing with organizational management. And you cannot manage an organization without communication. And so learning cross-cultural communication in that respect, it changed my life. It changed my life. So going through all of those things in schooling, I ended up coming out as, of course, a university lecturer, but I really focused on cross-cultural organizational communication. Honey, that is a mouthful to say. So I just usually tell people I love traveling the world and I love helping people communicate effectively. So today we're going to be talking about environmental communication. And if this is something that you're enjoying, I definitely invite you to heart it up, like, share. You can comment like I told you before. I am going to be looking over here just in case there are some comments so that I can move along with you. But again, today we are going to be talking about environmental communication. All right, environmental communication. Now, environmental communication in the industry, okay, in my industry, it actually refers to communication that's related to like factors that impact the environment. So we're usually talking about actual nature, right? We're talking about actual nature and corporate social responsibility and how that impacts, the world we live in. But today, my loves, we're not going to be focused on the nature aspect. We're not going to be focused on environmental communication in that respect. Today, I want to focus on nurture. I want to focus on your environment, your space, your surroundings, the inner you. Okay, so that's why in the title I have environmental, mental in all caps, right? MENTAL, because your surroundings really, they affect the way we think, the way we act, the way we live, the way we respond. I mean, all of that, right? So when we're talking about environmental communication, we are essentially talking about the way your surrounding speaks to you and the way your surrounding expresses you to other people. So that's what we're going to be talking about today in this first session of the series. Now, something that I definitely want you to know is your environment communicates internally and externally. Okay? Hey, Ashley, nice to see you. Your environment communicates internally and externally. It not only speaks to you, but it also expresses to the outside world who you are. Okay? It not only speaks to you, that's that internal communication, but it also expresses to the outside world who you are. That's the external communication. So when we're talking about internal communication, you know, we oftentimes will talk about how, like, if a room is junky, right? Or if we have a messy office, we'll say, oh my gosh, you know, it's just chaos. Excuse the chaos. Well, it tends to reflect our state of mind. Not saying that all chaos is bad. All chaos is not bad chaos, okay? But when we just get into a flow, a workflow where we have so much going on, and maybe your desk becomes messy, your floor, your room, everything becomes messy. And like for those of you who are parents, I haven't been blessed to have children yet, but I have loved ones who have, you know, children, and they'll clean up the house one moment and then the next moment it's messy again, because kids, they go and they'll play and they'll see one thing and then they'll see one toy and then they'll want to go run and play with another toy and then another thing and another thing. Well, we're basically just big kids, okay? We will start one project, so excited about it, and then another opportunity or another project or another idea comes to mind and we'll run and we'll start working on that project, and then another idea or another project or something else comes to mind and we'll drop that one and pick it up, and then we have so many different fires going on at the same time that, you know, we forget to tidy up, right? We forget to tidy up or clean up, and that's when our environment begins to look chaotic. Not saying that it's bad, but it's just saying that it's becoming cluttered, right? There's not enough space to clean it all up. So we have to take care of that. So you got to remember, your environment, your space, it speaks to you first, because you're the first one who sees it, right? When you wake up in the morning, or when you walk into your office, or when you go into your classroom, when you go into any door, you are the first person that sees that environment. So it speaks to you first. But everyone else that comes after that, it speaks to them as an expression of who you are. So that's the other thing that I want you to remember. Okay, next, your environment should inspire you to get up with purpose every day. I can't say this enough. Let me say that again. Your environment should inspire you to get up with purpose every day. And what I mean by that is you should have an environment that is clear, it is clean. I mean, it doesn't have to be super clean if that's not who you are. You know, I'm not saying that being dirty is a good way to be. But it's just, you know how to operate in your chaos, okay? There are other people who they could try to operate in your chaotic environment and they will go crazy because their chaos, your level of chaos is not something that they can handle, okay? I'm not talking about that, but I mean, if your environment is not conducive to your creativity or for you to produce, if your environment makes you want to stay lazy or to have self-pity or to be a victim, like, if you don't have a lot of windows in your space and you always, like, you know, maybe you have one window or you don't have any windows and you just like for it to stay dark, honey, flip on some switches, some lights or something and get to work. Like, there should be something in your environment that says, wow, I have another chance to do this task, or I have another chance to make something of this day. Okay. An example of this for me, in the beginning, I told you that I've been temporarily displaced from my home in China due to the pandemic. And to be honest, and I'm not going to stay long on this topic, to be honest, we don't know when Americans will be able to return. Okay, because every other country, they're starting to allow foreigners to come back because the pandemic has been contained-ish in their regions, or they've been, abiding by the laws of the land, and yet America is not really doing that. And supposedly it's like getting worse. And so the Chinese government, they're seeing this and they're like, you're not going to be able to come back yet. So my university has actually told us that we're going to be teaching online next semester. Once again, I'm here in the States, okay? Stuck in the States. And the environment that I came to, I'm here with my parents because my home is in Dali in China. I'm here with my parents. And when I got here, like, I basically was in my room from childhood. And that had such a that thing had such an impact on me in a negative way. When I would wake up in the morning, like, I would have no energy. I would not want to do anything. I would want to be lazy. Actually, I would just want to stay in bed. Like, depression was slowly like creeping in because I can't control my external forces. I can't control what is happening with the pandemic, or, with the Chinese government, and even, with America and China. I can't control any of those things, but I can control my internal factors, right? I can control what my thoughts, and I can control my actions to other things that I hear on the news, from the university, by email, whatever. So I had to get my environment together so I could get me together, because I had to listen. Working from home, and I've done it for so many years because that was part of my job with customer service. But now teaching to students who are literally across the world, and knowing that we're going to have to do this live, like in China morning time, which is US evening time, I'm going to have to teach. I couldn't do it in the space that I was in. So I started remodeling my space. I started changing my environment. Okay, I had to get rid of things that reminded me of the young me, who, God help her. And I had to build up my space that reflects me, who I am now. Dr. Charity Campbell. These children, I call them children, but they're young adults. They're going to be looking at me through camera while they're sitting in campus. And I got to make sure that my space is together. I got to make sure that when I come forth with my delivery, even though I'm not there with them in person in the classroom, I need them to still understand my presence is completely justified. And, like, when I tell you to do this assignment, this is what I expect. This is what I expect. Like, the same type of presence that I have in class, I need to have on camera. And so I had to change my environment to get me in the right mood for that, to get me ready for that. So it took about 6 weeks. Okay, I did a lot. My mom, she was just like, wow, it looks totally different. Like, it looks completely different in here. Yeah, because I had to get my environmental communication together, like what I want my environment to speak to me, but to also express to others. So that was extremely important for me. Okay, that was extremely important for me. Okay, so the next thing, I did mention already, your environment should inspire you to get up with purpose every day. Now, the next thing is, your environment should speak life and hope. It shouldn't look like your life is a pandemic. Let me say that again. And once again, like, if this is, I am kind of looking over here to the side at the comments. So if this is something that you are able to, that you are getting some good information from, definitely, thumbs up, like, share, heart it up. And also you can leave a comment as well. But your environment should speak life and hope. It should not look like your life is a pandemic. This pandemic has came and changed so much about our lifestyle and what we do, and even like our careers and the method of operation. Like, it's come to change a lot, right? And so your environment should look like, it should look like life. It should look like hope. I have a mentee who, she has no idea that I'm going to talk about her, but I'm not going to say her name. I have a mentee who this year, she started experimenting with plants. Okay. So, she's like all about this plant mom life now. And I pick with her. I do, because I'm just like, okay, okay. I support you. Okay. So when I first came to the States back in February, I stayed with her. And she warned me. She said, now, I have some plants. She was like, I have some plants. I'm all about that plant life. I'm like, okay, that's good. I'm thinking she has one or two like little plants or something like that. So I see in her room, okay, in one of her like little nooks, and I saw some greenery, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. That's really nice. That's really nice. She was like, no, did you see the rest? What do you mean? She was like, go around the corner. Yo, she got a whole greenhouse in this apartment. Like, I don't understand how she has like this whole green, like she has a green thumb now. Like, she has turned this place into like a little forest. Okay. But I can honestly say, when I walk into her place or when I see this, I see life. Like, her environment communicates life and growth to me. Okay. Something as small as putting a plant, or, if that's your thing, if plant life is your thing, go right on ahead. I support you as well. If that's your thing. Me, the only type of plant you're going to get is what's up here, right here. A little artificial plant. Because with me, little shop of horrors. I don't have a green thumb because I don't have time for it. I don't have time to cultivate. I'm moving from place to place to place. So that's not for me. But kudos to you and kudos to her if that's your thing. But you have to get something in your environment that's going to communicate life, that's going to communicate hope. Okay? You want it to speak those things to you. And lastly, intentional environmental communication is an investment in your present as well as your future. You have to be intentional about what you want your environment to say. Okay? You must be intentional about what you want your environment to say. Like, how do you want it to speak to you? For me, I have affirmations on my wall. I typed them up and I printed them off. Okay? I typed them up. I sent them to Walgreens, had it made into a poster, put it around, put it in a frame, and I put it on my wall. Why? Because I need my environment to speak life to me. I need my environment to remind me that even though I am grinding in my potential, I am still full speed ahead to my purpose. So yeah, I'm not at home, but I made this a haven for me. Okay. This is my childhood home. This is my US home right now. But the way how I have my home set up in China, when I walk in, it's complete light. It's just bright. I have stuff right around, like big windows, open windows. I have things in there that communicate this is your safe place. When you come from teaching 4 or 5 classes a day, you come home and you get to relax. You come home and you get to focus on whatever creative production you want to do next. You get to come home and just sit down and watch TV in Chinese if you want to. Like, my space, my environmental space there is conducive for me to be at peace, relax, and also to be hospitable. Because I have colleagues who come over quite often after we, just so we can talk about work. but they come over quite often and I'll cook and we'll just have great conversation. Here, I know that God is calling me to do something really, really special. Don't know what that is yet because he hasn't given me all the details, but he's given me the resources and the tools. So I made sure that when I wake up in the morning, I have like a space, an environment that communicates creative productivity. Okay? I have a space that communicates life and hope. I have an environment that communicates to me, no procrastination today. Let's accomplish every task that we set out. So you got to be intentional, okay? You don't have to do anything big. You don't have to do like my mentee and grow a full garden. You can just go buy one plant if the plants are, if that's your thing. Or you can create drawings. Take something, if, this is visual art. I actually painted that myself. Didn't even know I had that in me. She looked good sitting on the wall. Okay? Canvases, just different things. I mean, it's something small, something simple that can change the way your environment communicates to you first. Because that's the most important thing, okay? The way your environment communicates to you first. That's the most important thing. And then how it communicates to others. So I have a little communication challenge for you, okay? Our communication challenge for this week is, of course, dealing with environmental communication. What can you do to your environment to improve what it says to you and about you? I want you to think about that. Like, hopefully gone are the days when we just pop on Facebook Live or Instagram Live or YouTube Live or LinkedIn Live and we just, chop it up with people. Let's be intentional about our communication and let's positively, influence people to live and to dream and to, want more for themselves. So this is my communication challenge to you. What can you do to your environment to improve what it says to you? What do you want it to say to you? How do you want to feel when you wake up? How do you want to feel when you walk into your classroom? Probably not yet because I think you guys are teaching online. But how do you want to feel when you walk into your office? Or when even if it's a cubicle, honey, you can still have your environment adjusted in a way, whether it's small or big, you can have it adjusted in a way that it really does speak positively to you. And then what do you want it to say about you? How do you want it to be expressed? The next thing is start small if you can't go big. Like I said before, if you can't grow a full garden like my mentee, start with one plant if plants is your thing. If not, put up a poster, put up a canvas, change your lights, do something clean. For some of you, it might not even be adding anything. It might be taking things away. It might be that you need to clean the clutter, throw some stuff out, stop being a hoarder, get rid of some things and move on. Instead of it just looking all cluttery and stuff, clean it up. That might be what it is. And then I want you to snap some pics of the changes you made. Take some pictures of the changes that you made and then share them on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn and tag me at Dr. Charity TV. You can even put a hashtag communication challenge, or you can just DM me, send me a private message if you don't want people all up in your business. Okay? So this is the communication challenge. This is our first week. This is Monday. First full week in August. All right, first full week in August. Let's do this. First, we're starting with our environment. We're going to go through so many other channels of communication, but the first one is with our environment, what it says to us and what it says about us. That's your communication challenge. So, if you've enjoyed this Facebook Live, I definitely want to hear from you. Like I said in the beginning, I know this is a little different because I have to have the phone here so I can look at your messages or your comments and your activity. But I wanted to make sure that I had these, I have these inserts that would be good for you. Sometimes people are just visual. And for those of you who are listening to the replay on the podcast, I'm glad that you chose to listen while you're driving or while you're cooking or eating, because that's what I do. I listen to podcasts and audiobooks all the time while I'm driving, while I'm cleaning, and all of those things. So I wanted to make sure that this audio was crisp and clear for you in case you're not able to, watch a video, but you're able to listen in turn. So thank you once again for listening to the podcast replay of this first episode of Communication Series. And after this, immediately following after this, I am going to go on Instagram Live with a behind the scenes look of what my environmental communication setup looks like. Okay, so if you're following me on Instagram, which I hope you are, but if you're following me on Instagram, definitely hop over to IGTV and check out the behind the scenes. This is Dr. Charity C. Campbell. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today, and I will see you next week. Bye.